Can a fun-to-play budget deck compete and beat the latest meta decks? If so, what would the deck build consist of? And what would be the tactical gameplay strategy to win? Stay tuned, as I'll cover the best and most fun-to-play budget decks to build and win with. Hi, I'm Insane Writer. Welcome to the channel, Budget Gamer. It's no secret that budget decks, which are defined as decks with 1, 2, and 3 diamond cards only, not only can compete with the meta decks, but can consistently win as well. Let's take a look at the top 3 best and most entertaining to play budget decks as of the release of the A2 card set. For those who just want deck build details, I'll provide that information initially in the respective section of the video. Deck build details are also listed in the video's description. For those wanting to learn play strategy, I'll cover key tactical gameplay tips after the deck build. And for those of you who want the full immersive 3-star experience, I'll provide a gameplay match with tactical play narration. Chapters will be included to identify the start of each section. Now that I've covered the format and presentation sequences of the video, let's get started. At number 3, let's take a look at the budget Cynthia deck. When Cynthia is paired with Togekiss, not only does this deck become a heavy hitter, it's also a total blast to play. Imagine the surprise from your opponent when Togekiss hits for 170 points of damage. Make sure not to laugh out loud too much at the expense of your opponent. Here is the budget Cynthia deck build. Togepi A2 times 2. Togetic A2 times 2. Togekiss A2 times 2. Mewtwo A1 times 1. Pokeball times 2. Pokemon Communication times 2. Giant Cape times 1. Rocky Helmet times 1. Professor's Research times 2. Sabrina times 1. Leaf times 1. Cyrus times 1. And Cynthia times 2. Deck build keys including pairing the Togekiss evolution line with one other psychic Pokemon. Needing a wall Pokemon, a 3-diamond budget Mewtwo card fits this need and roll perfectly. This card can also be a backup attacker if needed. 2 Pokemon communication cards helps with getting your Togekiss evolved quickly. Make sure not to play extra Pokemon to the bench, but instead leave Pokemon in your hand to exchange back in when using Pokemon communication. Only play what you absolutely have to the bench. And with a couple of Pokemon tools, you can strengthen up a couple of your key Pokemon that are in play. Leaf will help with retreating Mewtwo back from the active spot, while Sabrina and Cyrus allow you to apply pressure to your opponent's bench. You'll have 2 Cynthia cards in your deck, and you will only run Psychic Energy. With the deck build covered, let's review several key tactical gameplay strategies. Togekiss is your primary damage dealer and match winner. Keep in mind that Cynthia can be paired with Togekiss in 2 different situations. First, if you are needing the full 170 damage attack, you'll need to hold and wait to play Cynthia until the second turn of Togekiss's attack sequence, where you can boost the attack damage from 120 to 170. However, Cynthia can also be played during the first turn of Togekiss's attack sequence to increase damage from 60 to 110. Make sure your Cynthia play fits the timing of the match and current situation. 3-diamond Mewtwo is included in the deck to hopefully be used as an initial wall while you work to evolve Togekiss on the bench. You might have to do a bit of table movement and arrangement to get Mewtwo to the active spot early in a match. However, you may have to work your evolution to Togekiss with Togepi and Togetic up front and active. In this situation, you have 2 Pokemon communication cards, plus Giant Cape and Rocky Helmet cards to assist with your early survivability and quick evolution needs. Leaf is included to help with Mewtwo's retreat as the wall, and the inclusion of a Sabrina and Cyrus cards gives you flexibility for a key swap of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot for hopefully a KO. Now that we've covered the deck build and tactical gameplay strategy, let's see Cynthia and Togekiss work their magic. Okay, so here's a match with my budget Cynthia deck. With that, let's see how this goes. So, a couple options. I may find myself evolving to Togekiss in the active spot, or I may have my Mewtwo, my 3-diamond version, up in the active spot. I only need 2 energy to retreat, and really that, yes, it can attack, but it takes 4 energy to attack and loses 2. So really, I kind of want to play it like a wall, kind of like playing a Drudagon, for example. Okay, so we've got, looks like that's about all I can do to start. Got a Burmy on the other side. We're looking at Metal Energy. Of course, Burmy uses colorless, so Burmy is capable of attacking if needed. Once my opponent gets some energy. Alright, so I've got a, let's start with a Pokeball. And I don't have an evolution yet. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and place this pointy energy here. I will put down a Rocky Helmet as well. I could really use a Pokemon communication card right now, and I can go fishing. But let's actually, we'll go ahead and 2 Togekiss, Mewtwo. Yeah, I'll put Mewtwo down just so I have a little bit of flexibility there. And with that, let's attack. But I've got 2 Togekiss. I want to hold on to at least one of them so I can go fishing for my Togepi. Or excuse me, in case I need to go fishing for something on the second evolution. Alright, let's see how this goes. So they've got, looks like a Lickitung in the back. With that, I'm going to go ahead and get Togetic evolved. And I know I need 2 energy there to make things happen. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and put this point of energy over here. And I'll attack. With the 2 Togekiss and a Pokemon communication, I can go fishing for, hopefully I can get another Togepi. And get that second evolution started. Alright, so we've got a Lickitung in the back. Regigigas in the front. A couple energy assigned to the back. There's a play of a Pokeball there. I do not have Cynthia yet. No, there's a Jigglypuff. That's not the singing version, that's the other version. And my opponent got Licky Licky evolved, so that's good news for them. Looking for my Cynthia. Alright, so they're going to play Sabrina, which brings Mewtwo to the front. And it looks like they're going to try to buy a little bit of time. Now, I do have my Leaf I can use as a retreat. There's a Pokeball, so it looks like we'll go ahead and be able to get that other Togepi down on the table. No need to use the communication card. And with that, we definitely are able to get this evolution started. We'll go ahead and put Leaf down here to make this retreat happen. And move a Togekiss to the front. We'll put down a second point of energy. And with that, we'll go ahead and throw down a Smash. An Overdrive Smash for 60. And of course, Cynthia is what we're really looking for to make things happen. There's a Wigglytuff. So my opponent's got a couple of strong EX cards in the back. Pretty strong colorless deck here. And with that, it's my turn. Still no Cynthia, unfortunately. But I will go ahead and play this communication card. Let's see if we can get a second evolution going, since that would get us one step closer. And that worked out for us. well make this evolution happen. With that, we'll put a point of energy over here. And we know we got a big attack coming over here with some coin flips. So we'll go ahead and get this overdrive smash done and completed. That gives me a 2-0 lead, but you know, Licky Licky is a big threat. And Licky Licky will be powered up and ready to go. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to be fishing for another a Togekiss. Got Dialga, so you know they were probably looking to get Dialga involved early to power up their bench, but unfortunately, based on their deal, it just hasn't happened. All right, so there is a 100-point strike, and then 20 back because of the helmet. Still haven't seen my girl Cynthia. I'm down to 8 cards and haven't seen her yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll make the ride here with. I'll put a second point of energy on here because I know I need 2 energy for Togekiss. And with that, we'll go ahead and attack. Licky Licky's almost out. I've got enough juice but with the Togetic to make it happen, so let's assume Licky Licky's going to retreat back. I do have a Cyrus that I could use if I could pull it to go chase. But it looks like my opponent's going to go ahead and attack. And I got one other extra point flip there. And that gives them a score of 1. And I'll go ahead and bring my Togetic to the front. I finally got Cynthia. She shows up just a little bit too late. She could have been used early with that 160-point Pokemon off front. But in this case, go ahead and put that there. We'll do a 40-point strike. And with that, that will give us our third and fourth point and the match. So that was just kind of a little tactical demonstration of the Togekiss budget Cynthia deck. And again, the keys are to try to pair Cynthia with Togekiss. You go from a 60-point strike to a 120-point strike. You can pair Cynthia at the beginning of that sequence and take that 60 to 110, or you can take that 120 to 170. Big hits. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, let's battle. At number 2, let's take a look at the new and improved Budget Blaine deck. The Budget Blaine deck has always been strong, but when Ninetales and Magnezone team up, watch out. Expect to consistently put those meta decks in their place with a big smile on your face. Here is the Budget Blaine deck build. Magnemite A2 times 2. Magneton A1 times 2. Magnezone A2 times 2. Vulpix A1 times 2. Ninetales A1 times 2. Pokemon Communication times 2. Pokeball times 2. Professor's Research times 2. Blaine times 2. Sabrina times 1. And Cyrus times 1. Deck build keys include making sure you have the correct Magnezone pre-evolution selected. This includes the A2 Magnemite, which uses colorless energy for its attack. The A1 variant of Magneton is needed and is key to powering up Magnezone. The A1 Magneton powers itself up using its Volt Charge ability. No need to have lightning energy in your deck, as Magneton energizes itself. And make sure to energize up for a few turns with several lightning energies assigned, with a goal of getting in 2 to 3 Magnezone attacks. If possible, try to get 2 to 3 lightning energies attached to your Magneton before evolution. After which, complete the evolution to Magnezone and start putting those meta decks in their place. 2 Pokemon Communication cards helps getting your Magnezone evolved quickly. Make sure to not play extra Pokemon to the bench, but instead leave Pokemon in your hand to exchange back in when using Pokemon communication. Only play what you absolutely have to the bench. The inclusion of Sabrina and Cyrus cards gives you some flexibility for a key swap of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot for hopefully a KO. You'll have 2 Vulpix, 2 Ninetales, and 2 Blaine cards in your deck, and you will only run Fire Energy. With the deck build covered, let's review several key tactical gameplay strategies. With time needed to get Magnezone evolved and fully powered up from the bench, you'll want to be using Vulpix up front in the active spot. Vulpix has a bit of a wall capability with its attack to keep the defending Pokemon from attacking. Utilize this attack until you can evolve and attack with Ninetales. Next, bring the heat early by using Ninetales and Blaine. Keep the pressure on and push for any KOs you can claim while you work to get Magnezone online and ready. Once Magnezone is ready, look to finish off the match with a KO or 2. And hopefully you'll have Ninetales on the bench ready to step back in to assist if needed. Now that we've covered the deck build and tactical gameplay strategy, let's see Blaine, Ninetales, and Magnezone in action. Okay, so here we are with the number 2 of the top 3 deck, a budget Blaine deck. I'm going to go ahead and queue up, grab an opponent, and start my match. At a high level, I'm just basically looking to get Vulpix and Ninetales ultimately active early, while I hopefully can quickly build up my bench where Magnezone will hopefully evolve to and have all the energy it needs. Alright, so I see some lightning energy on the other side. I do have a Vulpix, so I'll go ahead and place Vulpix down. And with that, I have a second Vulpix, but I'm not going to play it. I definitely at this point want to fish for the Magnemite, which I might get through Pokeball, or if I get a Pokemon communication card, I could exchange that Vulpix to hopefully pull that. With that, I'll go ahead and hit start battle. Let's see what we're up. Oh, Cyrus. This could be that 17-18 trainer card deck. I've been wanting to try it myself. Haven't been able to pull a second patchy card yet to make it happen. And that particular card, that 2-star, is just a beautiful looking. Alright, but they're putting Magnemite down on their bench, so we know that it's not the 17-18 trainer version. With that, I'll go ahead and put Pokeball down. And there we go. So I've got my Magnemite as well. And I do have Professor's Research. And I got another communication. I got a Ninetales. Right now, I'm going to sit a little tight. I could... I've got the evolutions, but maybe... I think... I could go fishing for a second Magnemite, but I might hold off a little bit just to see how things are going to play out. With that, I do not have a Blaine yet. A Blaine would be a perfect combination with that Patchy sitting up front, Patchy Risu. I'll go ahead and put a point of energy here. And with that, I'll throw down a Tail Whip. So Tail Whip's going to end up being a coin flip. Not that this EX card on the other side can do anything, but this will just basically make sure it can attack. With that, if I can get a Blaine, I would love to get a Blaine and put that card into the discard pile. But if not, I'll definitely be able to put some heat on it and perhaps go after one of the other cards. So there's a Volt Charge there, so my opponent's off to a good start. They're going to throw down a Rocky Helmet. And we'll hope for, we'll pull, we got 2 Blaine cards, so let's see. It's a budget Blaine deck, but instead of Blaine, we get Sabrina. So with that, let me go ahead and get this evolution started. And we'll put this second point of energy here. And we'll go ahead and get our evolution going as well. Get our Volt Charge started. And I do have a Cyrus card. I could chase after that Patchy. So I think what I'm going to do right now is I could play Sabrina for an initial KO. Now, this has a 2 energy. This is 40. If it has a tool attached, it's going to do 80. So the question is, I think right now I'll go ahead and throw the 90 points down on it. And they can step up and, of course, go after my Ninetales. But with that, I'll be looking to hopefully make something happen here. All right, so they're sitting really pretty on their bench. They've got 2 Magneton now, getting everything kind of fired up. And let's see what happens here. So they go for the KO, which I figured they would. Okay, so I can actually... I'm going to need a little bench help because they're in the same basic situation that I am. And I will go ahead and do Magnezone. I think what I'll do right now is... I can either get this Vulpix down and maybe pull another... I think I'll go ahead and put the Vulpix down. And with that, I'll go ahead and get this Volt Charge started. Go ahead and do this evolution. I'm only going to be able to get 1 attack, but I am definitely going to be going after that patch. And with that, I'll attack. So I'm going to lose 1 lightning, but I had 2 lightning, so technically, you know, maybe I can make a run at it. That's 110. So they can, you know, bring that one forward. There's a 110-point shot coming my way. So I might be able to survive this and then chase after that other card. Oh, and they're going to concede. So they probably realized that that's exactly what was going to happen. So I didn't get a Budget Blaine card. I didn't get the Blaine for my Budget Blaine deck, but you can see that you can get Magnezone fired up and running pretty quickly. And with that 90-point strike I did on that EX with Ninetales, they would have... I was just out of range with that 110-point strike out of the 120 health, and of course I could have at that point did the Sabrina and won the match. So that's just a little demonstration of a Budget Blaine deck using Magnezone and Ninetales. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, let's battle. And at number 1, let's take a look at one of the best and most fun to play budget decks, the Skarmory Magnezone deck. This deck is highly competitive and tournament tested. As a matter of fact, it's doing very well and placing high in many of the latest tournaments over the past few weeks. This deck brings the heat, and with the heat, you'll have a great time putting the smackdown on every deck that gets in your way. Here is the build to this tournament-ready budget deck. Magnemite A2 times 2. Magneton A1 times 2. Magnezone A2 times 2. Skarmory A2 times 2. Heatran A2 times 1. Pokemon Communication times 1. Pokeball times 2. Giant Cape times 2. Rocky Helmet times 2. Professor's Research times 2. Sabrina times 1. And Cyrus times 1. Deck build keys include making sure you have the correct Magnezone pre-evolution selected. This includes the A2 Magnemite, which uses colorless energy for its attack. The A1 variant of Magneton is needed and is key to powering up Magnezone. The A1 Magneton powers itself up using its Volt Charge ability. No need to have lightning energy in your deck, as Magneton energizes itself. And make sure to energize up for a few turns with several lightning energies assigned, with a goal of getting in 2 to 3 Magnezone attacks. If possible, try to get those 2 to 3 lightning energies attached before evolving Magneton. After which, complete the evolution to Magnezone and start putting the smackdown on those meta decks. Skarmory is the true hero of this deck, and with 2 giant capes and 2 rocky helmets included, look to get Skarmory equipped with a Pokemon tool and attacking as quick as possible. Needing a wall Pokemon, a 3-diamond Heatran card fits this need and role perfectly. This card can also be used as a backup attacker if needed. One Pokemon communication card helps with getting your Magnezone evolved quickly. Make sure not to play extra Pokemon to the bench, but instead leave Pokemon in your hand to exchange back in when using Pokemon communication. Only play what you absolutely have to the bench. The inclusion of Sabrina and Cyrus cards gives you some flexibility for a key swap of your opponent's benched Pokemon to the active spot for hopefully a KO. You'll only run Metal Energy in this deck. With the deck build covered, let's review several key tactical gameplay strategies. The deck is about starting fast, hitting hard, and not looking back. To accomplish this, you'll need to get Skarmory to the active spot and equipped with a Pokemon tool. Get this done as quick as possible. The preference would be to get Skarmory to the active spot initially with a Rocky Helmet. This gives the potential of doing 50 points of damage for your turn, plus 20 more for each of your opponent's turns. Your goal is to get an early match KO while Skarmory is active. Heatran is also included in the deck to provide wall resistance if you are having issues getting Skarmory active and tooled up early. With either Skarmory or Heatran active initially, focus to get Magnezone evolved and powered up as quick as possible. Once Magnezone is ready, time your attacks accordingly based on your energy allocated. Magnezone loses a lightning energy with each attack, and at least one energy of lightning is needed to attack. If you can move Magnezone to the active spot with enough energy to last for a few rounds of attacks, look to score the remaining KOs needed to win. Now that we've covered the deck build and tactical gameplay strategy, let's go dominate a match. Okay, here we are with the #1 top budget deck. I call it the budget tournament deck because it's tournament tested and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and queue up an opponent. At a high level, my goal is to get Skarmory with a Pokemon tool attached to the active spot and start hitting hard, strong, and fast. Ultimately, I'd like to score a KO, all the while powering up Magnezone and having enough energy on Magnezone to get the other 2 KOs. Alright, so I got a Magnemite that I'm going to have to put to the front. No Skarmory, unfortunately. I'll go ahead and hit Start Battle. Bidoof on the other side. I see Dark Energy over there. And of course, Bidoof is a colorless energy attacking Pokemon. Let's see what type of dark energy Pokemon are going to be coming my way. Okay, good start there. Little Rocky Helmet as well. And with that, I get my first opportunity here. I'll go ahead and start with a Pokeball. There's a Skarmory, so we'll take that. And with that, I've got another Pokeball. Let me go ahead and throw that one down. Another Skarmory. I'd really like a need of Magnezone, so maybe I can get a Pokemon communication and see if I can't make something happen. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and place this energy here. And I'm going to go ahead and retreat back, put Skarmory to the front. I have both a cape and a helm. That particular Pokemon's going to need 2 energy to attack. And I think I'll go ahead and put down a helmet on Skarmory as a preference. And I've got this other Skarmory. I got another cape. I've got some potential there, but I really want to try to fish for my final evolution. So I'm going to go ahead and end my turn there. We'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, I didn't get Skarmory out of the gate, so I've had to do a little table rework here to get it to the active spot. I do have Magneton, and I'll start that evolution process. Alright, so we got an evolution in the back over there, and with that, it's my turn. We'll get this evolution going over here. With that, we will do a Volt Charge. And I think what I'll do is I'll put this point of energy on my Magneton. I'm not convinced that it's a 2 attack with that helm. It'll bring me down to 60. I'm not convinced I should attack right now. So I'll go ahead and end my turn. Going to be fishing for that Magnezone. I'd like to get that Magnezone active and ready and rolling. All right, let's see what they got to fire up here. That Bidoof is going to need a total of 2 energy to retreat, whether that's through assigned energy, a leaf, next speed. All right, so there's a communication. So I'll go ahead and throw out the communication. I'm going to donate this Skarmory that's going to go back into my deck, and I'm fishing for a Magnezone. And unfortunately, I didn't get it, but I won't play that Magnemite just in case I pull another Pokemon communication. I want to be ready to go there with Pokemon I can donate. All right, so I would like to have hit hard and strong, but that Bidoof is with the Rocky's helmet. There's flip a coin for each Pokemon you have in play. Let's go ahead and each damage. That's that one. Each heads. All right, let's go ahead and throw down attack because I'm almost actually ready to go back there. So we'll be 10 short. This will bring me down to 60. I can at least chase after that card now. And I do. I just need that Magnezone. I'm ready to go. Hoping to pull that Magnezone soon. Little professor's research by my opponent. And let's see. Okay, so they've got 2 evolutions in the back there. Looking pretty good. They are going to X-Speed back. And let's see how this goes. Group beatdown from Toxicroak. A little fossil on the bench as well for them. They're going to flip a coin. For every Pokemon, they'll get 40 damage for each hit. Wow, you can't complain with that. That was an amazing coin flip. And with that, I'm going to be in a little world of hurt. Let's see if we can make something happen. I'm going to go ahead and bring Magneton to the front. I'm going to really hope and get a clutch draw here. And I did. Thank goodness. So we'll go ahead and do a Volt Charge. And we'll put a point of energy down. And, of course, we're going to have to put something... Well, I won't even put anything down on the bench yet that they could Sabrina back yet. So with that, let me go ahead and attack. I would have liked to have got that KO with the Skarmory, but it didn't happen. That ties the matchup at 1. Bidoof back to the front. Still sitting on 4 energy. I've got 2 lightning, so I think I have enough for 3 attacks here. See if Magnezone can come clutch and get 3 good attacks all in a row. All right, so I'm going to go and put this point of energy here. And with that, you know, that Toxicroak back there is going to have 4 coin flips. So 40-40 is 120. And let's see here. I could... Well, I'll go ahead and put this cape on and push it to the limits. And with that, we're just going to make the gamble. We'll see how this works out. I'll go ahead and attack. So my Magnezone is within KO range. That'll give me 2, but if they can't come through with the coin flips, then basically this will be match. So gonna live or die by the coin flips here. That'll give them their opportunity for 2 energy. Gonna throw down a cape as well. That brings them down to 110. That's exactly my striking range. And let's see how it goes. They only have 3 flips though because they did lose the 1 to a KO. So that's going to keep me alive. Not to mention a tails, a heads, and a heads. So with that, we've got a match. I'll go ahead and just throw this down. It's 110 points. I don't even need to worry about anything else. And with that, we got a win. All right, a little less than the normal convention to get it done. I did try to get the KO with Skarmory. I fell a little bit short. I was able to get Magnezone fully evolved with a clutch draw to let me have that evolution, and of course powered it up. I was able to get 3 consecutive attacks at 110 and basically earn 3 KOs. So thanks for tuning in, and as always, let's battle.